Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tommy Zamp and I play guitar and get the let out. And in this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about all the guitars that I take out on tour with me to replicate the sounds of Jimmy Page. So this is going to kick off a new series on my channel called In the Vault. And I wanted to take each guitar out of the vault and do a more in-depth discussion on each one, how I use it, why I use it, and for what songs I'm using them to recreate some of Jimmy Page's most iconic tones. I'll be doing these videos from my home studio here, not necessarily on the road because I don't have a lot of recording options or opportunities, I should say, while in tight confined dressing room spaces and whatnot. So I will be bringing guitars home, and as you can see, I've got my Tele right here, I've got my Hummingbird, my SG, my Les Paul. I've got a few things here that I'm going to kind of start working on and kickstarting this thing off, but I wanted to give you all an idea on what is coming. So if this is your first time here, I hit my initial goal of putting out a video every single week for an entire year, and it was great, and the response I've gotten from all of you guys has been absolutely fantastic, so I can't thank you enough. And as I move forward into the next year, my next goal is to get 5,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe and that little bell icon, and that'll let you know when I put out some new content that you might want to check out. If you're into Led Zeppelin, if you're into rock and roll, or you're into guitar, music related things, you might enjoy my channel. Maybe a little bit. So let me know in the comments below what you think, and again, I hope you enjoy this video. Here's a broad overview of what I take out on the road with me and get the let out. Okay guys, first up I have my Dano 12 string. This thing I got in 2014 actually I was on tour in London with my old band and walked by down on Denmark Street. Checked out Hank's Vintage Guitars and did a little window shopping. So this came home with me after that gig. I love this guitar. This guitar is primarily used on Thank You. I also use it on Night Flight, and Eddie uses this on Stairway. This is all in standard tuning, 12 strings. Usually I'm using Ernie ball strings on this. I use Ernie ball strings on everything. Just kind of get that out of the way now. That's it. Danelectro 12 string. Beautiful. Next up, we're gonna go with the Tele. So this is my 2017 Lake Placid Blue Fender Original Series. Boy, this is a mouthful, isn't it? Telecaster in Lake Placid Blue, 60s original. This thing pretty much lives in dadgad tuning. Depending on the set though, like if we're doing back-to-back Tele songs and the tunings are weird, like if I'm doing 10 Years Gone, I'll do that on Tele 2. But if we're doing Hot Dog, then I'll use this guitar and swap into it just to make the flow of the show a little bit easier. This was my very first Telecaster, and this is it's definitely showing some wear and tear. Let's see if we can zoom in, but you can see the nicks and the road worn. But like, you know, I did all of this. I'm not trying to knock some of the aged guitars that you can get now. The Murphy Lab series stuff is really incredible. I really dig it a lot. But there is something special about going, oh, I know exactly the story behind that little nick right there, you know? I did this. Rosewood neck, 21 frets. Everything's original the way it came. Definitely a larger shaped neck profile than the next Tele I'm gonna pull out. But this thing plays so good and sounds great, and it's always going to be special to me since it was my first Tele. So let's move on. Up next we have the Ultra Series Telecaster in the beautiful plum. This is a CME exclusive, Chicago Music Exchange only, or Andertons if you're in the UK. They were the only other ones that I know of that were carrying the plum color, as well as the Mystic Pine Green, I think is the other one, which I almost went with that. I'm partial to purple. I don't know, it just looks cool, you know? I love Prince, I love purple. Look at this thing. It's ridiculous. This actually has an ebony fretboard on it, 22 frets, and it has the Fender noiseless pickups in it, and they are fantastic. Some of the stages we play, you definitely get a lot of that 60 cycle hum coming through, and single coil pickups can be kind of nightmarish, and The new Fender noiseless pickups that they have in these, I mean, they sound amazing, but they kill the hum. It's spectacular. This also has a push button right here on the volume pot, to where if I wanted to go in the middle position, push that in. These two, it acts as a humbucker pickup. I don't use that with Get the Let Out. I've used it on recordings and other situations, but with Get the Let Out, I don't have a need for that option on this. But it is, it's a cool thing to have if you're, you know, you got a couple days off and you bring your guitar home, you want to lay down some recordings or whatever. It's fun. It just adds some more tone versatility. Metallic gold pickguard. I love this thing. This is my only other Telecaster. It's my second Telecaster. I love it. Look at that purple. It's amazing. All right, moving on. Oh, and I get a lot of compliments on this strap. This is from Couch Straps. Also a big Bowie fan. My wife actually found this, and she was like, "You should get this for the Telly. It matches the pick guard." Look at that. See? Not bad, right? But yeah, a little Bowie lightning bolt on a purple Telly. Why not? Let's get into the Les Pauls. What do you say? All right, so we have a Gibson Custom Shop 60th Anniversary V2 Les Paul Standard in the beautiful orange lemon fade, rosewood fretboard. Yeah, it has the burst bucker pickups in it, I believe. If not, I'll add a little thing at the bottom letting you know that I knew I was wrong before you can tell me I was wrong. How's that sound? Slim tapered neck. I am very partial to the slimmer necks. I don't know, they just fits my hand better. It just feels right. I don't know how else to describe it. Some guys like the old big fat 50s necks, Louisville Sluggers. They're cool, but like this just seems to fit my hand profile better than the latter. And no crazy wiring or anything with this. I use this guitar. This is my main Les Paul. I use this one for opening a show, like say for rock and roll, or you know, I use this on the Stairway solo. And I know all you purists are out there gonna say, Jimmy Page played that solo on a Telecaster. Yeah, I know, but I do it on this so you can deal with it, because this guitar sounds insane. Yeah, anything that needs a big Les Paul body sound, out in the tiles, Celebration Day, over the hills, it's all on this one. It gets the job done. I picked this up for the Get the Let Out gig when I found out that I was gonna do this. Hey, you need a burst if you're gonna be replicating some Jimmy Page parts, right? Am I right? Plus you need a burst, so get one. All right, moving on. Also, somebody asked me too, like, do all your guitars have a certain home in your vault? And they do. Everything has its own little spot. I measured everything out. The acoustics are at the end, we'll get to that, but they take up more space. Their bodies are wider, obviously. So every guitar goes in the same spot. And sometimes, if I'm in a rush or whatever, sometimes John has guitars on a stand, so my walk and switch if he's doing something else. Very rarely do they go in different spots. But if it is, it's for a quick moment. All right, so this is my Gibson Les Paul Classic from 2003. I bought brand new. This is my first Les Paul I ever got, and it was hanging on a shelf, and it has, I don't know if you can see it right here, but it's kind of in the shape of South America. You see the knot in the grain? And ever since I saw that, I always like things that are unique to me. I don't want to have the same guitar that everybody has, you know. I just like the uniqueness of things. So yeah, so I call this guitar RG, for short for Argentina, just because of that knot looks like South America to me. This thing is now currently set up for slide guitar, and I use this on Levy, Whole Lot of Love. I'm using it on What Is and What Should Never Be now, and Dancing Days. We do that a lot. I use this on Dancing Days all the time. On this guitar, actually, I just started doing the wraparound down here, which I talked about this in another video, which I'll put up right here, or maybe right here somewhere on the top. There'll be a link. It adds a little bit of slinkiness to the strings. These have 10 gauge strings on them, by the way. All my Tellys have 9 gauge strings on it. All Ernie balls, but that's what I'm using. And original pickups in this, 490R. Here in a 500T, or right in the bridge. This guitar is has done me well. This thing has been all over the world. It's got some war wounds, road war scars, but if anything happened, there's certain guitars that I hold near and dear to my heart, and this would be one of them, man. It is just something spectacular. It's like magic in this. Your hand just kind of knows it without looking after a while. But yeah, I love this thing. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so what we have here is a 2019 Gibson Les Paul Special in TV Yellow. This was the first year Gibson did the original collection, and I kind of waited on picking it up, and then I found the last one in the Northeast at one point. I couldn't find one. It wasn't in New York, wasn't in Connecticut. The only one in Jersey was in Paramus. But yeah, so I found this in Paramus, and I went out there and I plugged in, played it for a little while, and I took it home. And I wanted a TV Yellow. I love the P90s. I'm a P90 junkie. My SG, which I've also done in that same wraparound tailpiece video, which has a single stop tailpiece as well that I do the wraparound on. But my SG has P90s in it. They just have a cool, jangly, awesome tone to them. And they're very versatile, and that's why I have this. And I used to use this on a lot of other slide stuff, like on What Is and What Should Never Be. That's the Way, Your Time Is Gonna Come. Yeah, again, now I'm using a pedal steel, and I'll get to that later on, but this is pretty much set up for slide only, and I use this on In My Time of Dying. Currently, it's in standard tuning. It usually lives in open A, which is In My Time of Dying tuning. A lot of control with the tone knobs and the volume knobs. You can really make this thing sound raunchy. Love this guitar. It's a ton of fun to play. Definitely has a little bit of a thicker profile neck than I would normally go for. It has a nice dark rosewood fretboard, which I absolutely love. It really is a spectacular looking instrument. Who doesn't love TV Yellow? All right, moving on. So every once in a while, you come across a guitar that just speaks to you, and you know immediately within the first 5 seconds of picking it up, not even playing a chord, that this was supposed to be yours. Like you were meant to have that guitar, and that was what this Gibson Hummingbird is to me. This is a 2007 Gibson Hummingbird. This guitar, I have done thousands upon thousands upon thousands of shows with this over the years. It's getting a really beautiful checking on the body. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll do other close-up shots of it. But you can see the lacquer checking in it, really adding a lot of beautiful character to this guitar. Just one of the easiest playing guitars I've ever picked up. Every time I pick this thing up, it just sounds good. So for the strings that I use on my acoustics, I use the Paradigm strings 11 to 52s, and again, all the links and everything, if you want to check them out, pick up some that I'm using, all the links will be in the description below. This has the Fishman pickup in it, and I just think it really does capture that big body tone that you get from a Hummingbird. And I think the Fishman pickup that's in it does a fantastic job of relating that to the PA and whatnot. And if you've ever been to a Get the Let Out show, I use this on Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. I use this on Going to California. I use this for Stairway, for everything from the, or you know. This is a 2007, yep, it's a 2007 Gibson Hummingbird, and this was my main guitar. Even way before I was in Get the Let Out, I was doing gigs all over with this. Solo acoustic gigs, recording sessions. This thing just, you put a microphone in front of it, it sounds amazing. You plug it in, it sounds amazing. It's one of those magical guitars. And you know, I've played other Hummingbirds that sound great, but they don't give me that spark. They don't hit me with that lightning bolt like this one did. The minute I picked it up, I was like, it's coming home. That's my tried and true Gibson Hummingbird in Heritage Burst. Alright, moving on to the last guitar in my guitar vault. This is my Gibson J45. This is a 2018. I bought this one used, maybe it was 2020. I bought it used in 2020, and I had a hankering for the most recorded acoustic guitar in history. It is Gibson's workhorse. Is it still in, this might be still in tuning for Rain Song. I love the tobacco finish on this, and just look at that fretboard too. I am a sucker for a dark rosewood fretboard. I just find them to be beautiful to look at. They're wonderful to play. Now, I was doing a gig, an outdoor gig during the pandemic, and I've always been someone who's like, know your surroundings, you know, like look for overhead obstructions if you're in like tight corners and you're taking your guitar off. I'm not gonna name the place, but I was doing this outdoor gig in underneath this tent, and there was this really thick, I don't know, like 3/4 inch thick steel wrapped wire or whatever holding something up, and it was like kind of like this place to put a stage. It was like right underneath this. And anyway, I got done doing my gig, and this was my move. I got done doing the gig, and I went like that. And as soon as I did that, I hit that bar right here, and you can see in the neck, gashed it right here on the top, just a little bit. I cursed myself for about, I don't know, a good 2 weeks. And every time I look at it, you know, it's right in a spot too. I don't look at my hand a whole hell of a lot, but when I do on this guitar, I look down and I'm like, you stupid. Hey man, adds character to it. I don't want these things just sitting in a case to look at. They're made to be played, and you know, just like us as human beings, like it's life. You know, you get scars, you get cuts and bruises and whatnot. Like, you want to take care of yourself as much as possible, but life happens. I think some of the nicks and dings in these guitars really add to its beauty, and at least that's what I tell myself to sleep better at night, right? So on this J45, I use this on the Rain Song. I use this for Hey Hey What Can I Do? It's my 2018 J45. So those are the 8 guitars that I take out on tour. This is my guitar vault. John loaded this thing up with stickers, and we have these cool little flashy lights here. I can do this and it changes all the time and really pisses John off. Actually, there it is. Yeah, he hates this. Those are my guitars. Yeah, you know, any questions or comments, leave them below and I'll get back to you. Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it. That is a broad overview of every guitar that I take out on tour with me. And like I said in the beginning, I'm going to be doing a more in-depth discussion on each one. So let me know in the comments if you have any specific guitars you would like me to get started with, if you have any certain sounds, songs, tones, anything. Let me know in the comments below. All the links to all my gear in the description box. I hope you all continue to be good to each other, good to yourself. And I'll see you guys in the next video, alright? Nothing but peace and love.